Continue. All righty. So thank you everyone that has made time for this panel tonight. We appreciate you all so much. So here with us today are several representatives with the ARC of Spokane. We've got Sarah Marr, the Community Inclusion Program Manager, Vanessa Prendeville, if I'm saying that correctly, Supported Employment Manager, Kyla Parkins, Transition and Youth Adult Program Manager. Paul Clements might join us later. He's the coordinator of the ARC's Assistive Technology Center, and Katrina Boyk, is that correct? Perfect. Director of Advocacy and Family Support. Please help us give them a warm welcome, you and me, Sophie. So we have a whole host of questions for you all, so we can just jump right in. So why don't each of you go around and introduce yourselves and how you are involved / what do you do with the ARC of Spokane?
I had asked, I was like, let's get organized, everyone, and go in an order. So I'll let Vanessa go, and then we can kind of follow that order we set.
I do want to give you a forewarning, be here squawking. It's my 6-month-old, and she's being a little vocal at the moment. But I am the manager for supported employment, and we, our tagline basically to sum it all up is that we support people with developmental and intellectual disabilities find jobs and or keep them. So we will start from, when you start from scratch, it's getting to know the person, creating a professional relationship with them, doing some discovery, finding out what their interests are, and making it match a general industry. From there, you would help them build a resume and a cover letter, whatever they need to apply to jobs that they are interested in. You can bring jobs to the table, they can bring jobs to the table, and it's about working together to find something. We're not in the business of handing people jobs, because that doesn't give you the satisfaction of like, this is my job, I'm gonna stick with this, this is important to me, I helped this outcome, basically. So that leads to the individuality of this whole process, is that some clients are very involved in their job. They fill out their applications and maybe it's just a proofread from us. And some clients need us to fill out those applications. So it really depends on everyone's abilities. And we try to get them involved as much as they can for that buy-in I was talking about. Then all the way through, when they are offered an interview, we can go and help them. We can practice doing interviews before the actual event. We can attend with them depending on what the employer allows. And if they get the job, we can help with onboarding. We can help with the communication between managers and their clients. Sometimes there's just education of what do we do? So employers don't always know, like, what are we going to stick around? Like, are we going to be there for a while? So a lot of it can be just having that communication between us and the employers. So communication heavy as far as supported employment. Once they're in the job, you can help create lists of tasks that they're responsible for. And if some of them don't work out, that's our job to work out what they can do. Like if we need to drop this one specific task, maybe we pick up a task somewhere else. It's about making things work and having that collaborative effort. Hey, Paul. So lots of communication, lots of education. We do help clients find accommodations as well. This is great timing because Paul helps people get connected with equipment that can help them be successful in their jobs. And that's kind of something that everyone here really benefits from, is having things that allow clients to participate in everyday activities that we don't necessarily know what they are until we find them. So yeah, we have clients who work at gas stations and grocery stores, and there's a Barnes and Noble we have a client working at. We have a client who works at Rotary. I wish I would have gotten a list, but it kind of runs the gamut of different things that people have been interested in, we've gotten them connected with.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Paul, I will let you know the question that I asked just now. We just did an introduction, so nothing to, you didn't miss anything. So the question is, why don't we each go around and introduce yourselves and how you are involved and what you do with the ARC of Spokane. So I think you guys had an order. I don't want to mess with that, but Vanessa was the first one to go. So
I'm next on the order. So my name's Kyla. I manage our transition and young adult program at the ARC, which is a very long title. We call it TAP for short. So we support teens and young adults as they transition into adult life, whatever that looks like for them. That could look like life skills training. That could look like exploring jobs and trying to connect them with employment, with supported employment. That could look like volunteer opportunities and figuring out what they like and what they don't like. So we kind of run the gamut too in terms of what we do. We're a very unique program in that we just create new programs whenever a need comes up. But our main core programs are our one-on-one mentoring, which is very personalized, depends on the person and their goals. We try to match them with someone who has a similar personality, similar interests, someone that can help them toward whatever that goal is. And then we also do life skills classes. We have a series called Adulting 101. This month for that, we're focusing on self-advocacy, which I think is a really good topic for this month. And then next month, we'll be doing healthy relationships. So focusing on personal boundaries, consent, things like that. So that's a really fun and valuable class, I think, for a lot of people. And then we also just usually have monthly social opportunities because a lot of what we do is remote and one-on-one. So we like to have opportunities for the program to come together as a whole. Obviously during COVID, that has not been happening, but we have been doing some Zoom activities every day in partnership with our community center. So that's kind of filled that gap. But normally we'd get everyone together, do a murder mystery dinner, do a pancake breakfast. We've gone to Mobius or Pattinson's roller skating, just to kind of bring everyone together, have some fun, have that social interaction. But yeah, we do a lot of different things. And we also work with a lot of college students. So if you're interested, contact me because we're almost always hiring.
for everyone who's going to watch this recording, they're hiring. Thank you, Kyla.
Mhm.
Paul, if you're ready and you want to share, you can go for it.
Something went wrong. We'll fix it.
Okay. Let us
Go
know
ahead.
if there's anything we can help with.
Yeah. All right. Is it okay if I go, Paul? All right. So yes, I'm Katrina. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Family Support with the ARC of Spokane. In the past, I worked for another support and employment agency called Enzo. And then I started the At Work branch in Spokane. So I ran that for just over 3 years. So now in my new role, I oversee 4 programs. I'm a visual person. So I have to show this. Oh, can you enable me? Okay.
Okay, you should be good to go.
Okay. Yes, perfect. All right. So my department is very confusing. So I made this visual. But I oversee 2 parent programs and then 2 kind of random ones. So I oversee Parent to Parent, Spokane County Parent Coalition, Individual Advocacy, and Abuse Prevention Training. So I'll start with Parent to Parent real quick. It's connecting parents. So all of our coordinators are parents of a child with a disability. So they provide support groups, they provide trainings on guardianship, IEPs, 504 plans, anything really they'll cover. And so they also organize a kind of a peer mentorship thing, which you'll hear that a lot today between Kyla and I. But it's called Helping Parent, and it's setting up, we have parents that come to us that want to volunteer. And so we have them go through this background check, learn kind of how to listen and how to really help parents who are in need. We call them referred parents. So we have these helping parents that we then go ahead and match with referred parents so they can provide assistance and kind of answer questions and stuff. So that's what we do with Parent to Parent. It's really about parents who need help and us trying to support them. So Spokane County Parent Coalition, then, the way I see it, Spokane County Parent Coalition is a lot more experienced parents who want to get involved at a state level or even just local, but want to address policies, bills. It could be the sidewalks, anything related to IDD. That's what Spokane County Parent Coalition is. So how I see it is, Parent to Parent is more about those newer parents who are unsure and need support. And then Spokane County Parent Coalition is like the parents who are like, I've got this parenting down. I want to see what else I can do. How else can I help my community? So we're all from different places, so no judgment wherever people land. But one of the new positions I created within Spokane County Parent Coalition is the Spokane County Parent Coalition Advocate, which is a person who has a disability. And they're working closely with the Spokane County Parent Coalition coordinator. Kylie, you were talking about long names. My programs have the longest names ever, and all of my positions are the longest. So the coordinator is a person who has a child with a disability. And then the advocate, like I said, is a person with a disability. So I really wanted to bring these kind of 2 perspectives together so that the parent coordinator is able to get a parent's point of view, and then the advocate is able to get more of a self-advocate point of view, and they can kind of meet in the middle to address issues. So either meeting with legislators or
addressing local issues and speaking with the mayor and whatnot. So those are those 2 parent programs. Abuse prevention training. It's sexual abuse prevention training. We haven't really figured out what the program's name is officially. It's either sexual assault prevention training, sexual abuse prevention training, or abuse prevention training. They're all the same. It's 2-part though. We have a 5-hour, 5 continuing ed credits course, which is sexual abuse prevention, and talks about the statistics of sexual abuse on people with disabilities, signs to if you want to identify sexual abuse, and then just how to respond to it. So that is a great class. We are now offering it all across the county online. So you guys at GU can definitely sign up with Shayla, and yeah, we can present that class, and we can either do it in person or online. So either way, whichever one works for you guys. But I'm pumped about that. And then the other part of that is a 2-hour parent meeting, which I get a lead tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing, but our girl is out tomorrow, so I'm gonna wing it. But it's a parent training, parent meetings. We call it a parent meeting, but it's essentially a 2-hour parent training with discussion intermittently. So, so it's a lot more casual than the 5-hour intense training. This is just more of a discussion, and parents can bring up concerns. You know, I noticed this in my child. I feel like I'm going to take the whole time. Okay, last one. Okay, the last one I have is individual advocacy. And surprisingly, this is the most confusing, so bear with me. Okay, so we have individual advocacy, which is crisis management. So if someone comes to us and says, I'm going to lose my Social Security, we say, okay, we can help you. So you don't have to have a DDA waiver. You just come to us as long as you have a disability, and we address that immediate crisis. So this could be working with them on getting it. We could even just refer them. So if they came to us and lost their house, we could refer them to a homeless shelter. And the idea is that we'd kind of have a back door in a lot of businesses, so we'd be able to quickly get the crisis addressed. So out of individual advocacy, we have our individual advocacy coordinator who does specialized habilitation, and our individual advocate who does peer mentoring. So specialized habilitation is skill building. So it's like, we'll go back to the Social Security example. So someone loses their Social Security, immediate crisis, we help them get it back. Okay, great. So then specialized habilitation, if they have a DDA waiver, they would move to that, and we'd work with them on the skills. So how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? How do we address, do we need to have a benefits planning so we can figure out how your Social Security, was affected in the first place? Was it because January 1st minimum wage went up, so now you're over the threshold for Social Security? So then do we need to speak to your employer? Can we work on skills to communicate with your employer in case this happens again? So he's aware of how Social Security works, and he's aware that if it goes up, you would have to decrease your hours. So that's specialized habilitation. All those little, people don't even realize how much is involved. There's so many little steps into everything. And so then peer mentoring is very similar, but it's back to the peer mentorship. So we have a person who has a disability that is our individual advocate. And so he's able to share from his own perspective. So if someone has immediate crisis, they're going to lose their Social Security, we saved that. Great. So then they go and they're like, well, I'm interested in learning more about this, and maybe talking to someone who I feel comfortable with that can kind of share about their experience. So then the individual or the person in individual advocacy could be referred to peer mentoring, and Jason would sit down with them and be like, hey, okay, so this is what happened to me. I almost lost my Social Security, and these are the steps I took. So it's similar, but it's really, all the peer mentoring is from a person with a disability who has lived experience going through those. And so he's able to really relay, how he got through those situations. Paul, you better be ready by now. So that is all of my programs. Did that give you enough time, Paul? I know. Paul's used to me. Okay. All right. I'll turn it over to you. But those are all of my many, many programs within my department. It's kind of a random department feel like it was just thrown together, but it's okay. So, all
Thank
right.
you. Thank you, Katrina. Yeah, I think Paul, you're ready? Perfect. Awesome. You're also on mute. I just don't know if I didn't know if you knew that. So.
I am the ARC's Assistive Technology Center Coordinator. There was a lack of organized assistive technology under one agency's roof for a long period in Spokane. The ARC Technology Center provides consultations, recommendations for software and/or devices, some of funding counseling, and training. Outside of the ARC, I'm a public speaker advocate for people with disabilities. Before COVID-19, I spoke at several universities and other ventures, and one day a month, a co-presenter at DDA's caregiving class. That pretty much summarized it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. I had no clue, by the way, that the ARC was this extensive. So this is really cool. Thank you, guys. I think, Sarah, did you get a chance to go yet?
Yeah, I'll kind of round that out. So I'm Sarah. I'm program manager of our community inclusion program. And what CI is a one-on-one program that supports our clients in recreational and integrated activities. So we focus mostly on people who are 65 plus, and they may have like retired from employment or are looking for other ways to like get involved in their community. But sometimes our clients are younger than that if they have tried employment and maybe want to do a little bit more skill building or are not interested in employment. So community inclusion has a specialist work one-on-one with a client to get involved in the community, and that can look so different because everyone has such different hobbies and interests and skills. So but we focus on integrated activities to really fight isolation and help people build relationships with people who are not paid to be with them. So examples of what this looks like, we have people who volunteer with Meals on Wheels, at food banks, with animals, and then people are also encouraged to like join clubs in the community based on their interests. So writing clubs, book clubs, just places where they can authentically meet other people and be part of their community and contribute in a meaningful way. So yeah, groups, community events like Hoop Fest, Pig Out in the Park, music events, attending all those really fun things. We support people in doing that. So we also have our partnership with GUSR, which is how we kind of got plugged in, and CI is really closely tied to GUSR because of that recreational, really fun environment. And we just have similar goals. So yeah, I will mention, because Abby, there's not like representation from every department here. So a couple other departments we have, well, big ones are supported living. The ARC has, gosh, I don't know many houses. If anyone else knows, speak up. But round the clock support, residential services for people, and then representative payee. Yeah, maybe 16 houses. Okay, thank you. 16 houses. Representative payee, so helping people manage their bills, their rent, meeting their financial goals, taking care of the financial piece. And then respite, overnight planned respite. So the the ARC has a house that people can just have respite there. So maybe a family just needs some respite, and so a person can stay there overnight. It's kind of like an Airbnb from my understanding. So that's really neat. And then our community center, which is closed right now, unfortunately, but I think there's a lot of overlap between people who participate in GUSR and our community center, because that's just a really fun, open space for relationship building and community building. So hopefully we touched on all of the departments, but yeah, it's like a really expansive, holistic, ever-growing agency.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for giving us that overview. That was really informative for me. So I hope everybody watching this also. Yeah, go ahead.
Thrift store. We have a thrift store.
Yes.
That was the other big one. I couldn't think of it. I was like,
could I forget
know
that?
there are like two big pieces where a ton of our employees are, and it's supported living and thrift store. So
Right.
we have
And
that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say the thrift store is so visual because it's on Division and close to Gonzaga. And so a lot of people, when I say I work at the ARC, they're like, oh, I love the thrift store. But we're so much more than that too. But yes, we love the thrift store.
Paul, did you have anything to add to that?
ARC employees are so dedicated with creativity and worth. I am doing assistive technology for everyone should have a voice in our community.
Thank you. Yeah. I love that what you guys are doing with the ARC, and especially being willing to be here right now. So thank you guys. We can go to the next question, or I think Paul might have something else to say, but yeah, the ARC I think is something that so many Gonzaga students, that's their immediately their reaction is the thrift store. So yeah, with that, my second question is, how did you all decide to work for the ARC? And then what surprised you the most when you started working for the ARC?
I don't know if we're gonna go in like same order kind of thing. But why did I start working with the ARC? I was interested in working nonprofits in general. So I was looking for different opportunities in Spokane because we just moved here. And there were just some availabilities. So really I learned as I was applying to this job what the ARC stood for. And I think that just leads to the job satisfaction that is now, because it does encompass a lot of stuff and you can get deeply entrenched in all of these opportunities and make it what you want it to be, because there's so much going on. Just so much opportunity and ability to make a difference.
I can go next to follow our previous order. I've been kind of passionate about working with this community since high school. Like my senior project was to put on a concert for the residents of the only supported living home in my hometown, to kind of do like a talent show to show the community their gifts and what they could contribute to our community. And I really enjoyed that and like supporting and encouraging that. So then in college, I actually worked with my program as a student. It was previously called the Explorers program, but I was one of the mentors and did an internship with them. And then after I graduated, I actually worked with our supported living program because I really felt like I had the kind of personality that worked well with caregiving, and that, I don't know, I just like people and I like getting to know unique people. So I really wanted to work with people. And I knew that the ARC was awesome. So I applied and did supported living. But it was my first job out of college, my first like big girl job. And I didn't know exactly what I was getting into because supported living is hard and it is emotional work. And for a just out of college graduate, I didn't have the best like boundaries, and it wasn't the best fit overall. But then my former supervisor in this program welcomed me back and was like, I'm going to find a way to make you fit in this program. And I did. And I'm still here. So, and I absolutely love TAP. I love the energy. I love the people that we work with and the people we support. It's been a lot of fun. So.
You want me to go next, Paul, or are you ready? Okay. So I worked at work, and then in between at work and working at the ARC, I worked at Compass Career Solutions as the statewide trainer and quality improvement manager. And so it was, I went from at work where I was doing job development, like all job development, and it was so stressful during COVID. Like I get so distracted by chat. Okay. You're okay. Okay. But yeah, so when I was working at work, I was trying to job develop during COVID. I had parents telling me my kid can still work. They're not going to wear a mask, but you can still get them a job. And it was just so stressful. I like didn't know how to do it. And so I just was like starting to get burned out. And so I kind of started looking. I got offered the job at Compass Career Solutions. So that was, I hadn't really decided what I wanted to do. I wasn't actively searching, and then that kind of just fell into my plate. And so I was excited. It was for money. That's my confession. They offered me good money. So never do anything for money, but also be you. So I ended up taking that position, and it was the polar opposite. So I was not working with people with disabilities at all. I was just doing paperwork. And even the trainings, I was just doing online, creating PowerPoints and then uploading it as a recording. So I wasn't even doing trainings with people. And it was really, really hard for me because I'm like Kyla, I have to be around people. So that's when this ARC position kind of came open. I knew the previous director, I knew several of the employees, I knew Paul, I knew Kyla. I tried to steal Kyla at one point, but we won't talk about that. She's amazing though, she really is. She is the most patient person I've ever met in my life. So she's phenomenal. So yeah, that was kind of, it just came open and I applied and I was lucky enough to get it after multiple stressful interviews. And then I would say I am very surprised how many connections it's opened the door to, like, because we have the ARC of King County and we have the ARC of Tri-Cities and we have the ARC of like Washington State, and just being in this role, I was already on a lot of committees, but now I'm on 18 different committees and I need to cut back. But yeah, like it's just completely opened the door for connections. So that was something I was really surprised about. But yeah, it makes sense. There's lots of ARCs and lots of people know that name. So they're always looking for people. I've gotten like the mayor asking to meet with someone from the ARC. And so I've gotten to do that and stuff. So some kind of cool things that have just opened because of working at the ARC. All right, Paul, I'll pass it to you.
I am fortunate. My position was ending at WISE as assistive technology specialist. WISE is another special employment agency. WISE and ARC are very close, so Lauren and Luke created Assistive Technology Center at the ARC and hired me. I am so blessed for that.
Thank you so much. I've never heard of WISE. I don't know if it's an acronym or if it is WISE, but is it WISE?
Mhm.
Okay, just wanted to double check. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Sarah, would you like to close out that question for us?
Sure. So similar to Kyla, after graduating, I was looking for a job, and a professor of mine recently moved into the executive director role at the ARC, Seema Thorpe. And so I reached out and I said, hey, like, what are your ideas for work here in Spokane? And she said, apply to the ARC. So then I started in our community inclusion department, doing the one-on-one support, and have been with the department ever since. So I knew for myself I needed to be with people, like many of us here. And the ARC's mission just works towards equity and a more just society. And so I knew I wanted to be part of something like that. So like Vanessa, it's been very meaningful work and important to the people that I've met and the clients we serve.
Thank you guys all for answering that question. Again, with each question, I just learned so much more. So I really appreciate you guys. Alrighty, the next question I've got is, let's see. So you kind of answered the first part of that question, so I'll jump to the second. Where do you guys think that Spokane in general could do better in regard to advocacy and policy?
Oh goodness, should we just jump to Katrina? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, this might be a good like conversational piece.
yeah, that is a loaded question. Of
We
like,
can also pick one small part too. We don't have to cover it all, but thank you.
one of our big taglines is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess it up because I'm on the spot.
Nothing about us without us. Is that what?
Oh, that's a great one, but it's that one, celebrate inclusion. Just that it's like, it's include everyone, like allow accommodations that let literally everyone join in, allow the things to be available to people, because often like closed captioning right now on this technology, like I'll miss, I won't hear something that somebody says and I'll just quick look down there and be like, oh, that's what they were talking about. I don't have problems with hearing, but that accommodation for somebody else that was meant for somebody else is helping me understand the content. Like these things just make sense. We just need to hear from the people who need these things so that we can implement them, because I wouldn't think of those kinds of things. I need somebody to tell me to think of those kinds of things.
You want me to go, Kyla?
I was just gonna say, like, even very small things, like it still amazes me how many restaurants, it's really hard to navigate a wheelchair in there. And like they don't have restrooms that are easy for people assisting someone in a wheelchair. Like, and then you have that awkward decision of I have a male client that I support, and do I take him in the women's or the men's? Like, it's still just those small things that you don't think about till you're in that situation. You're like, okay, well, this is going to be awkward either way. So let's just embrace it. Like, see what happens. But even small things like that, I think, could always improve.
Curb cutouts is another one. I think of that small, but makes a huge difference. I'm sure Paul knows, but knows exactly what.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just
Yeah.
yes, for it makes sense that they did it for people who use wheelchairs. But I have a 6-month-old and I take a stroller everywhere. Like, thank goodness for that.
Yeah. That's called universal
Yeah,
design.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making sure that it works for every single person. So they're trying to do that a lot with education, trying to get universal design in all the classrooms. But I 100% have been not dealing with this, but have had this situation recently with hiring 2 self-advocates who have been asking for a lot of extra help with a couple things. And I realized that it'd be so much easier if I just started like recording my screen and uploading. So I've been doing that with SetWorks, and I've been doing that with Microsoft 365, how to create forms. And it's like, yeah, that 100% works for everyone. So I think, yeah, your universal design is a big one. But go ahead, Sarah. I get so excited about this.
Oh,
Were
no.
you?
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Nothing About Us Without Us movement is huge, and that's a great place for people to start. So including people with disabilities on committees and boards, and that's just so important, and getting those different perspectives and having a diverse workforce to get all the different opinions and everything. So important. But one of the big things I'll say, I hear this a lot when I was job developing, was like, oh, we did hire a person with disabilities and it didn't work. So one of my favorite quotes is, if you've met someone with autism, you've met one person with autism. So every single person is different. So I hate when I hear that, because it's like, okay, I'm sorry it didn't work out with this one person, but you haven't met this other person. So I don't know. I think that's a really important part, is being open to, trial and error, and, yeah, just trying to see if it works. And there's always accommodations, and there's different things like, yeah, you could have them, if folding and hanging up isn't working, could they just fold, or could they take on additional tasks? So being open to all of that is just huge. And I still think we have a long way to go. But I will say some of the best people I worked with were younger managers, and that gave me a lot of hope. I was like, yay, because I do think it is kind of a younger idea of the whole social justice movement, and I think we are going in the right direction. So I love that. I had quite a few young managers who were like, yep, let's do it, let's try it, see how it works. So
Katrina, do you want to touch on sub-minimum wage?
yes. So a lot of people don't know that sub-minimum wage is still a thing. So it is actually illegal to pay people with disabilities less than minimum wage. Super messed up. Paul, I'm sure you agree with this. Did you get paid sub-minimum wage, Paul, ever? No. No. Yeah. So I know several individuals that have.
We don't have any clients right now that are paid sub-minimum wage, but it's definitely like a thing that I've been warned to watch out for. That or piecewise payments, like pay for each product that you produce kind of thing, which
Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is that you would compare what a regular person could produce, and you would compare that to what a person with a disability can produce, and then you would subtract that from their pay. So it's a really messed up idea because, yeah, it's showing that people with disabilities have less worth and don't deserve as much as other people, when a lot of the time it's like they could succeed if they were doing something else. They could be. And how can you say that someone without disabilities, so like myself, I have off days too. There's days where I am a terrible employee, and well, probably not. I'm a pretty good employee. But I mean, everyone has off days where, I don't know, it's such a messed up idea that we're comparing people with disabilities to people without. And I hate it so much. But that's one of the bills that's right now in session, is trying to get rid of sub-minimum wage. And we tried this 2 years ago and it failed. But we're trying it again, and it seems like it's going to pass, which would, yeah, it would give people 3 years. So some of the agencies in Spokane, well, only one in Spokane does sub-minimum wage. They'd have 3 years to transition out of sub-minimum wage. So ideally, those people would get hired at the business they're working at. Doesn't always happen that way, but that would be the plan with the 3-year scope, is that there'd be time for transition and time for them to get another job. So yeah, but I think it's a very archaic practice. I can't believe we're still doing it. So that's my 2 cents. Do you have something, Paul?
Yeah.
All the agencies should come together with people with disabilities and go to city council, have audience more than once and go to Olympia. All my job wages were and is pretty good, but people should realize disabled community has great talents and skills.
Yeah, I said in the chat, you guys, thank you so much. All of this too is something that I hope young people at Gonzaga and elsewhere too will continue to take forward. And we love working with the ARC anyways, because you guys push for so much advocacy and partnerships and just treating people like people with dignity. So yeah, I think we could talk about this for hours. And please, again,
can I add one more thing?
Yes, go, please.
Another thing, yeah, when all of my chat, sorry, but the institutions, I mean, that's a huge one. I would love to get those people into the community. So how do we do it? So if GUSR could like target Lakeland Village and figure out a way to talk to them, to get those people to engage in sport activities and stuff, oh my gosh, that would be amazing, because there's movement to get those people out into the community. So we're going in the right direction, but we are far from it. I mean, we don't have enough housing, so we can't even close the institution. There's so much involved, but now they're talking about expanding the institutions that we do have. And so that's pretty screwed up. So, but yeah, I would love to get those people. I've been trying to get them involved in People First of Washington and stuff. And it's just feels like they won't share the information with the individuals. It's just like, thank you, no thank you. It's like, no, can I actually talk to the residents and share? So it'd be awesome if you guys could get in there. I mean, I really want to get those people out.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely start sharing that to our media. That's our best way of advertisement, but we can also get in contact with CCE, our like community Center for Community Engagement, and see about kind of engaging in that. Sophie, don't you work for them too? We can maybe
Yes, I do.
get some stuff going there. Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like a lot of times stuff like this can fall on silent ears. So yeah, no, we really appreciate it. This is your new link. Don't worry, Katrina. We're gonna get this pushed through. Granted, I'm a senior, but we'll push it through.
Thank you. I know they have like buses and stuff. Like they could,
yeah,
or not buses, vans, but they could take multiple people out into like Spokane and make a road trip. And I would love to see it.
Yeah, hopefully also too, I mean, COVID makes it a little bit more complicated and stuff, obviously, but moving forward with that. Thank you guys so much. We'll do one more question because I want to give all you guys enough time to answer. And so you can choose which one you want it to answer. So first question is, what is one thing you would want Gonzaga students to take away from this panel? Or you can, if you would like, you are all welcome to share a story or experience that impacted you or cracks you up or brings you joy in relation to your work at the ARC. So you can choose whatever one you want to answer.
Sarah, did you want to go first? Because like you keep going last. And
Sure. Yes. Let's see. I think advice, just because I was at Gonzaga, I was a student. I wasn't involved with GUSR, but had a lot of friends who were. And I guess I would just say, if you are passionate about this sort of work, there are really wonderful careers out there to explore in this field. The ARC is just one agency within Spokane. There's lots of other opportunities out there. If you would like to continue that, I think I'm sure all of us here have come from different paths and majors and that sort of thing. So don't be afraid to explore that, and or even just volunteer outside of your work. Lots of things to get involved with. The ARC hosts our annual fundraiser, lots of different fundraiser events throughout the year. like socializing events. So take a look at that if you're at all interested. And I think any of us would be happy to like point you in the right direction and help you find that or tell you more about our jobs. But yeah, I think we can all, I just love the enthusiasm that students bring. Like Kyla talked about a little bit, that program hires a lot of students throughout the year. So you can kind of get a little taste of what it might be like after graduation. So yeah, that's my little plug.
Paul, do you want me to go while you're typing?
I could speak at Gonzaga if want on inclusion and anything on behalf of the ARC.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool. I'll email you, Paul, about that. Actually, I can suggest it for future CC or Celebratability series. That'd be cool. Awesome.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, of course. We've got two options. Okay, perfect. We've got what is one thing you would want Gonzaga students to take away from this panel? Or if you would like, you are welcome to share a story or experience that impacted you or cracks you up or brings you joy in relation to your work at the ARC.
Okay. I'm going to answer both, but super quick. Takeaway is if you're a manager, hire people with disabilities. So, and just hire diversity. We won't even say disabilities because everyone identifies differently. Hire diversity. Okay. Mine is not at the ARC, but I'm going to use this example. So no one believes it, but I used to be horribly shy. And then I started working in this field and it was impossible to be shy. So I had one girl and we went grocery shopping recently. So I'm not working with her anymore. And so her mom's like, Katrina, take her out for the day. You haven't seen her in a while. So I was like, sure. So I took her grocery shopping. And the whole time we're driving there, Katrina, tortillas, tortillas. He said, I don't need tortillas, tortillas. And I was like, no, I don't need tortillas. So we go into the store and she goes, tortillas. And she's just screaming tortillas. And I like turn around and I'm like, we are walking back to the car and I'm taking you home. You cannot be screaming tortillas. So she's like, okay. And then she just follows behind me while we're grocery shopping and just goes, tortillas, tortillas. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you are driving me crazy. And I was like, no more tortillas. And so we're almost done. We're walking to the register and she's like, tortillas. And I like freaked out and I was like, no. And there's a giant stand of tortillas blocking us from getting to the register. Who puts a giant stack of tortillas in the middle of the freaking aisle at Walmart? Oh, so this is why I'm not shy anymore. Because it's like, how do you be shy when you're like, everyone's staring at us? And I'm just like, all right. So we did not get tortillas. And then long story short, I got home later and I really wanted tortilla and cheese and I didn't have any tortillas and I was really bummed. So that's my story.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. Look, you should have listened. You should have listened, Katrina.
I should have gotten tortillas.
Yeah.
It was a sign.
I haven't been in this role for very long, but it was kind of just a story of a client just snowballing into success because he has a job and he's had that job for a decade. And he was looking for, he had these trainings that he had to do online. So when he would go to Lowe's, he would like do his job, but then he needed like a job coach to help him read some of the online trainings. And then finally at the beginning of this year, we got him an app on his phone because like the computer system didn't have an easy, like read the screen thing. There wasn't an easy fix, but there was an app that we downloaded on his phone and now he can do his trainings 100% by himself. He passes them with flying colors every time. Like he doesn't need to coordinate with a job coach, an employment specialist to come and read a screen to him because he literally knew all the answers anyway. Like he just needed that accommodation piece to connect the dots to allow him to have this independence. So that was just one piece of the snowball. Like after that, he got his license to work the Reach, which is like this machine that like moves pallets and like he drives it and he moves product and like all of this stuff. And now he's cross training in the lumber department and like his managers are like, oh, can you work more hours? Can you do this? So we have to do benefits planning. And like, it's all just snowballing. And his employment specialist goes to him, you can drive that machine that's like super dangerous. What do you think about getting your driver's license? Like that's not something that we can help him do, but it's just like, here you're doing so well at work, how does this translate to your personal life? And you can like more independence, more opportunity, more things. So that's kind of leading to the whole motivational statement, if you will. There's always more. Like I would love to clock out at the end of the day and be like, I accomplished everything I wanted to do today. Nope, that's not a thing. There's always like creativity and like, oh, I finished this project, but that made me think I could do that over here or with this client or at this employer. And it's like, I have a very specific field of employment. And like, that's how much there is an opportunity and like creativity. Just, there are so many departments in the ARC. And I mean, beyond just us, there's so much work to do. That's it, I'm done. Woo.
Yeah. I think for mine, my takeaway would just be that we work with people. And I think sometimes we can get caught up in like all of the acronyms and all of the different programs and it's overwhelming and confusing, and the language and, you know, being scared of saying the wrong thing or referring to someone the wrong way and things like that. And so I would just encourage people, like, the best way to understand the IDD community better is to get to know people with IDD. And like Katrina said, like, you meet one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, but the more that you meet those people and talk to those people and bring those voices to the table, the deeper that understanding is going to get and the easier it's going to get to not get caught up in those things. So that would be my takeaway.
Awesome. Thank you. I think Paul maybe has one last thing to say. But thank you guys. Seriously.
Did you go, Sarah? I don't think you did. She did.
I went in the beginning.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. Vanessa made you go first. Okay. You can cut that out of the recording.
Yeah.
We keep it all, Katrina. No worries.
Golden West does adapt cars and vans.
That's good to know. Was it Holden West? Okay.
Golden West.
Okay, gotcha. I'll write that down too. Fantastic. Well, thank you guys. That's all I have for you guys. We'll end a little 5 minutes early just so you guys can enjoy the rest of your evening. But thank you again so much. I've just been honestly blown away. You guys are fantastic, and I'd love to stay in contact with you all. And if you have any questions for me, Sophie, if you have any questions for any of our panelists, yeah, the floor is open.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions, but just thank you so much for everything and for sharing all your guys' information. I didn't know like any of that before, so thank you.
Absolutely. I was going to say, if anyone wants to get in contact, I think all of our contact information is on our website, arc-spokane.org. arc-spokane.org, I believe. I should probably know that. Yeah, arc-spokane.org. So you can reach us there, learn more about
Perfect.
what we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely we might do a little shameless plug on our Instagram. So awesome. Yeah. And again,
Cool.
we have t-shirt sales if you guys want. I'm currently wearing it. Celebrate Abilities is what it says. Because that's the name of the series that we're doing. So if you guys want to buy one, you don't have to. $7. We can mail them too for just added $3 more added. Or if you guys want to come to Gonzaga's campus, you can pick them up in our Hemmingson office too. But yeah, I threw the link in there as well. So thanks you guys so much. You're welcome to head out.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank
This
you.
is awesome. We love our partnership with GUSR and Gonzaga. So we'll keep that going.
I should probably tell you, we have a couple of clients that work at GU at Sodexo.
Yeah.
So,
Good to know.
we're there. We're infiltrated.
Little dude, the tendrils are everywhere. The ARCS departments reach the entirety of Spokane. So awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
Go Zags.
Have a good night, everyone.
Go Zags.
Go Zags.
Oh. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.